Superhits 93.5 रेड एफएम पे मैं हूँ तुहिन आपके साथ stand up and bajao is happening in Namma Bengaluru. We're looking for the next big comic star in Namma Bengaluru, and joining me today is Daniel Fernandes. He's one of India's top stand-up comedian. He's currently based out of Mumbai, and he's known for his dark and surreal style of comedy with reference to social issues in India. Welcome, Daniel. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm good, yeah. Surviving. Not in jail yet, so that's a good sign.
Right? You're known for your dark humor, social issues, free speech. How do you
hmm
manage to take out humor from these topics?
I think as a comic, every one of us has to go on this journey where we figure out what we find funny or what we like joking about. For me, it started a few years ago where I just wanted to talk about stuff that other comedians were not talking about. So I was like,
Okay.
hey, no one's talking about stuff that's in the news as much on with stand up through stand up rather.
Right,
So
right.
that's how I started doing it. And then the audience liked it. I enjoyed doing it, so I kept doing it, and it's a nice space. I think one of the reasons why I enjoy it is because everybody has an opinion today because of the internet.
Right. So you know what happens. What I understand out of stand-up comedy is it's a tough art first of all. Okay, and
Very.
you have to find your footing. So you choose one path. Audience
Yeah.
हंस रही है. You're cracking your jokes. You're like यार ये काम करता है. Audience हंस रही है. But sometimes those jokes like put you in trouble. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
See, I think a lot of the trouble that's being caused today, and not just with stand up, with a lot of shows on OTT platforms as
Right.
well, you have to understand the motivations for this happening. The motivation is primarily political. Nobody's feelings are really hurt when you watch a show that portrays something you care about in a certain way,
हाँ.
or you hear a joke. What happens? Kya hota hai? Do you wake up the next morning and do you have rash all over your body? Do you start crying? There is literally no physical manifestation of offense. Offense
Yeah.
is something that is cultivated and propagated by people with political connections for their own agenda.
हाँ.
And this is why I'm not a fan of herd mentality. So what has become now of the entertainment landscape in India is a scenario where, as entertainers and artists, we have to learn to navigate this as well.
Right. Okay, so this is the question that these days people are getting offended very easily, and how do you
Yeah.
feel when someone gets offended on your jokes?
See, for me, offense also was another reaction to my stand-up, and honestly,
Huh.
I enjoy it. It means if I've offended you, it means that I've poked you somewhere. I have taken an idea that you cherish, and I've poked a hole in it, and you don't like how the idea looks right now.
Negative
So for
publicity हो
me,
गया
of
एक.
so for me, offense is as good a reaction as laughter, silence, or applause. I don't take it negatively. It doesn't make me sad at all. It's a reaction, and I think the way the internet works today, because now everybody has a voice. As an artist, we have to accept that you will have to hear things about your work that you don't like, but that does not take away from the effort that you've put into it, or it does not invalidate the positive responses to that work as well. So it's just part of the game. I think one of the things I've learned as a comedian over the last 10 years now is to build a very strong mental game. Your
Right.
mental fortitude needs to be up there, because
Huh.
you will have to deal with the brickbats. See,
Right.
if everybody likes everything you create, फिर you are not pushing the boundaries. तू
Right.
कुछ नया नहीं कर रहा है, तू वही सेम चीज वापस दिखा रहा है पब्लिक को, विच दे आर कंफर्टेबल विद. उसके हिसाब से तो उन लोग कुछ बोलेंगे नहीं, सब लोग हंसेंगे. देन आई फील दैट आई एम नॉट पुशिंग माई
But
सेल्फ
are
एज एन
you
आर्टिस्ट.
but are you careful while writing your scripts that ये यार ये joke तो बन रहा है पर I should not crack this one. I should crack this one.
आई
Feelings hurt हो
As a
जाएंगे या कुछ हो
writer,
जाएगा.
yes. As a writer, I do have this is voice at the back of my head that keeps reminding me that there are a lot of stupid people who also have access to the internet,
Huh.
And I say this in a way where people have not taken the time to understand how the art form works. Stand-up is never meant to be taken literally. It's a joke, and jokes are always built on hyperbole or exaggeration, or figure of speech. It's not meant. It doesn't have to enter your head and stay there the same way it entered.
Like you can't go on stage and say okay, just respond to me. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Daniel.
Daniel who?
I work Daniel day out.
That's a joke I wouldn't tell on stage. because लोग ना पैसा भर रहे हैं, like, ये देखने के लिए. But I think, see, one of the things as comedians we also want to know is how far has the audience traveled with us.
Okay, okay.
Comedy is a very evolutionary art form.
How
Things
evolved they
that
are
people were
basically.
laughing at.
Huh.
Exactly, and it's a continuous process. If you remember, Tuhin, a lot of the stuff that we watched as kids that we
Huh.
found funny, and you watch back today, we don't find them funny at all. We're like, how did I
Right.
laugh at this? All those years ago. It's because our tastes have evolved. So this is all a journey that we're all on as performers, as audiences, and then as we keep doing these jokes and as we keep saying things, we understand and get a gauge of where you are at as well in your journey as somebody with a sense of humor.
All right. So with that, coming to stand up and bajao, what does it take to be a successful stand-up comedian in India?
A good lawyer, first of all, lots of patience. I think
Okay.
one of the biggest lessons I've learned is to be patient, because this is such a crazy world where you will see people who started after you suddenly race ahead of you, and then you will see people who've never even done comedy before suddenly calling themselves comedians and being successful at it. You will see all sorts of things. I think it's very important to be patient. It's very important to respect the craft. You can't, one video goes viral doesn't mean you're a superstar. You
Right.
start from
Right.
zero every time you get on stage. So very important to respect the craft
Okay. So with
and
that,
practice.
yeah, with that, so one tip or piece of advice you would give to contestants of stand up and bajao?
uh, Fall in love with stand up.
Okay.
Treat it as a relationship, like when you meet somebody, or a boy or a girl, and you really go head over heels in love with them, and then you just want to spend all your time with them, you want to do things with them. You have to fall in love with stand up, and once you fall in love with stand up, it becomes easier to navigate everything that comes along with this journey.
Right.
Because with stand up, unlike most skill sets in the world, you reach a certain level where you can say, yes, I have mastered this craft, or I've mastered this particular skill. With stand up, that never happens. You never become good.
Okay.
You never you're always trying to be better. So I think that's one piece of advice that I would give.
So, it should not be called I do stand up. It should be like I practice stand up, just like doctors and lawyers. We have practice.
Yes.
We are still practicing.
Yes, it's a practice. Yeah, man. Like you if you even watch the interview of some of the biggest names in the business, and they will say the same thing. They still have the odd bad night. They're still learning so many new things, and that's the best part about this. The learning never ends.
Okay, so there are times when stand-up comics they spend a lot of time creating one joke. So which is that one of the
Yeah.
jokes you took the longest time to create?
Oh man, I wouldn't be able to tell you the longest time as such, but everybody has different techniques, and sometimes I have a punchline before I have the setup. Sometimes I have the setup, then I have to go looking for the punchline. I do have certain jokes that feel very proud of. If you want, I can tell you a couple of these jokes which are safe to say on air. I read in the newspaper that according to a survey by the Bombay Times, 70% women fake orgasms to avoid hurting men's feelings,
Okay.
which I found hilarious because 100% men fake feelings.
Really?
So and this, yeah and this is one of the first few jokes that I wrote about 8 or 9 years ago that really worked so well every single time I performed it. So it's always stayed with me. And another one I dropped recently on my social media was after India's test win in Australia, which I was very happy about. So the joke is, with this performance, Team India has given Virat Kohli the confidence to have more children.
All right, so you were with Nawazuddin Siddiqui promoting his film Manji, The Mountain Man. Any funny moments you
Yes.
remember with Nawaz? Because I did one of the interviews with Nawaz, and थोड़ा यहाँ लोचा हो गया, लोग मतलब बाहर खड़े हो गए. How can you talk
क्या हो
like?
गया?
How can you talk like this? Like मैं बात नहीं कर
अच्छा.
रहा, नवाज बात कर रहा है.
I think, yeah, I think we traveled to many cities across India to promote that film, and I spent a lot of time with Nawaz. And I think behind the cameras, he's a very smart man. He's very perceptive. Yeah, because of his own journey, he's very perceptive in how he sees the world. Shared a lot of funny stories about the movie industry. Very humble also. I like that, as as regular people, we have this perception of movie stars that they think differently or उनका कुछ life ही कुछ अलग है, you know, they are not like us. Is the allure of celebrity, you know, that these people are not like us, so we must keep an eye on them. But the more I hung out with him, I realized how much he's actually like us, you know. So even he, here and there, you know, he was talking about ये क्या समझते वो actor है, ये कोई movie है, ऐसा कोई picture बनाता है, and it was just, you know, how we get a little bitchy every now and then, but not in a malicious way, and it was so cute. Like I found that like it was a very human trait that I observed, you know, just like the way, and I just found that hilarious. So besides that, many other funny stories, but brilliant actor, and I think it definitely was a real fun time traveling with him across the country.
तो कभी साथ में बैठ के बोला कभी कभी लगता है मैच भगवान है, समझा डेनियल?
No, this was before what show is this? How am I forgetting the name of the show?
मांझी.
No.
अच्छा,
Bhagwan has
Sacred Games.
Sacred Games. Now, this was much before Sacred Games, but however, fun fact, when I think a couple of years ago, I hosted the iReel Awards, which was I think one of India's first OTT platform awards, and Nawaz was in the audience, and I dropped a Kabhi Kabhi Lagta Hai Punya Bhagwan joke hai. And it was really it was real fun to catch up with him all those years later, and, you know, and he got to see me, you know, also evolve as a comic from when we last met me. So we met then. But yeah, Nawaz is boss.
आजा बाप का, दादा का, भाई का, सबका एंटरटेनमेंट करेगा मैं. चल. Okay, so I'll throw some names, and you just have to give me a reaction. What do you think about these people? Like a one-liner would be nice. Okay.
Okay.
We gotta start with Donald Trump. What do you have to say about Donald Trump? You just say, don't be fake. Say it now.
Donald Trump is like that, you know, that stain on your toilet bowl that you can't seem to get rid of. And it takes 4 years for it to go away. But when it goes away, you're like, hi, it's finally gone. Like, that's how I feel about Donald right now. कि वो दाग निकल चुका है. It's gone finally. 4 साल के बाद. 4 साल से try कर रहा मैं निकालने के लिए.
Brush मारा नहीं था. Finally brush मार दिया. Okay, what do you have to think about the new US President, Joe Biden?
He gives me hope that people in other countries will also sit up and go, hey, maybe we should go in this direction. I think if Joe had not won, it would have kind of made things worse for a lot of other countries that were piggybacking off the kind of rhetoric that Trump was propagating. So I hope that other countries as well will sit up and realize that, you know, hey, I think there's too much poison in the system. There's too much hatred in the system, and we need to change that. So I hope that's what happens.
Yeah. What do you have to think about vaccine? There are 2 vaccines out, Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech. Which one will you choose?
So my opinion on the vaccines is that everybody should take them first. I'll wait for 6 months, see what happens, and then decide.
Okay. otherwise you'll be a White Walker.
Exactly. मुझे White Walker नहीं बनना है.
Legal notice. What are legal notices for you?
Legal notices is just another marketing push. Let's be honest. I think anybody who's creating any content in the country, like, I hope थोड़ा legal कुछ हो जाए तो अच्छा होगा. मतलब और लोग देखेंगे.
And finally, Team Australia, cricket team Australia.
Man, I think they fought well, both on, off the field, even to the stands. कितने tricks try किए उन लोग ने, मतलब क्या कहाँ से. But I think they also have to accept that they were no match for a very young and inexperienced Indian side that wanted to make a point. So,
okay,
I'm more proud of Team India right now than I have any disdain for Australia. I mean, obviously, if you want a series win like this, it has to be against Australia. If it was South Africa or England, it wouldn't feel as good because this was Australia. This was the Gabba 32 years के बाद. मतलब हम लोग ने झंडा गाड़ लिया. So I think so I'm looking forward to them coming to India next whenever that happens.
Well, what do you have to say about stand up and BAJAOO, that Red FM initiative?
I think it's a great initiative. I hope a lot of people listening in or watching this are going to take part. I mean, see, you don't have to do this professionally. You don't have to like become India's next big comic and sell arenas. Just do it because it's something worth trying. And you never know what you may find in the process. So I think it's a brilliant initiative. I wish everybody who's participating all the very best. Give it your best shot, and you never know, it could change your life.
Well, thank you so much, Daniel, for joining us, and let's hope
My pleasure.
to see you soon.
Likewise. I'll see you soon in Bangalore for a show.
And Daniel, Superhits 93.5 Red FM.
बजाते रहो तुतुर तुतुर तुहिन के साथ.
Super.
That.
Red FM 93.5